Hello, I'm Crickets and welcome back to I Have a Story. Well, today's another day of, I don't know, according to the weather report, 10 inches or 10 hours of straight snowfall. And this is part of why I haven't been on the air as much. Getting through the holidays is always tough on my emotions, and then this winter has been unreal. We've had more than 10 feet of snow being reported locally coming down this year. And this is what it looks like outside. I have not had a single 48-hour time stretch since Thanksgiving where it has not snowed like this. This has been unbelievable. And when I live off of solar, wow, I'm looking out my window and just watching the snow. It's unbelievable. When I live off of solar, I don't need sunlight to keep my batteries charged. But at the same time, I can't have them just covered in snow. And when it's snowing like this, I can go out and clear them off, and 5 minutes later, they're already covered in snow again. There's nothing you can do other than run a generator. I try to do as little of that as possible. Last year, I got 4.5 gallons of gas for my generator, and I didn't even use it all the entire winter last year. This year, I've already used 3 times that amount. So it's been kind of tough. But also I talk about how, and I need to get on making these videos talking about how I live my life and changed things in my life after my house burnt down. Being disabled and living off the system, I don't like it, and I do everything I can to take care of myself. And I went and changed my bills from between $200 and $300 a month down to about $15 a month, so that I can take care of it myself and not have taxpayers having to pay everything for me. It really is tough, all of those aspects on top of everything else I'm dealing with, which you're about to see here in just a minute. It really is hard on my feelings and my emotions, needing help and not being able to do it for myself. So I do what I can to do it for myself, and I'm hoping those videos will be an inspiration to more people to step up and change the ways that they are doing things, and for people who live off the system to quit taking it for granted and do more for themselves. I also want to share with some of my viewers, and now that I'm actually getting some people commenting, I've been on the air for roughly 2.5 years, and I don't have alerts that come through to my phone or anything unless I'm online on my computer to let me know that people are leaving comments. So while I will, as long as I can see them and do get notified when I get online that you're leaving a comment, I will reply to every comment that I receive. So understand that trying to conserve my electricity and not getting online and not having these things alerted to me offline, that I don't get to see your comments until I log back on. But what I'm going to talk about now, and I thank you, Wendy, for you've really kind of helped lift my spirits a little bit. Even just one person to talk to me can be really uplifting. And to share a little more of my life, yesterday my elderly neighbor who lives down the road, he's 74 years old, and with all this snow, it took one of his roof vents off. Everybody who has plumbing has a PVC pipe coming out of their roof that ventilates your drains. And the snow, we've had so much of it that it took his drain pipe off, or his vent pipe off, and left a hole in his roof. So yesterday we had to clear his roof and get up there and get into his attic and connect it all and put new pipe in and fix it all and seal it all up. So that was my day yesterday. And this morning I've already spent with another elderly man. I just watched Evan Almighty, and I think everybody should watch that. One act of random kindness, that's all it takes. And I have a lot of elderly friends that have nobody to talk to, and I just spent 2 hours on the phone with an elderly man from downstate that he doesn't have anybody. And just to spend a couple of hours a week talking to somebody can really help make a difference in their life. But that's also where I talk about these systems. They don't want to talk to me at all. So last Friday I filed a civil case with the Department of Justice. You think that they're the biggest entity to control civil rights in our country and who we should be turning to. That's who DHHS has advised me to turn to, these entities. But then what does the Department of Justice do? Apparently they don't actually take care of civil rights. Again, just titles and paychecks. Is that all this is? Because they're the Federal Civil Rights Division. You can see it right here on the screen. This is the reply I got back. I filed a case with them last Friday. I received this on Monday. I couldn't believe how fast it came, which tells me they must not have looked into it very hard. Just, well, there's another citizen who's just out of luck. We'll just send him another stupid reply because that's all I get. That's all I get. How does one entity tell me to turn to another entity, and then that entity tells me to turn back to the other entity who told me to go to them? It's nothing but a rat race. That's all it is. A dog chasing my tail is all I am, and I'm tired of smelling the stink of it all. So this was what I got back from the Department of Justice after filing a civil rights case. It's not the Department of Health and Human Services does not handle civil rights cases. I've been airing it throughout my whole channel. I've been going through this for over 15 years. People don't... I can understand people who are just tuning in and say, wow, he's just flipping out. Now you understand why. I have been going through filing case after case after case after case through every entity I can find. If you have more advice, please tell me. What am I supposed to do? You can understand where, if people have been watching, where my mindset is going and talking about, you know what, this is going to end one way or another. This is going to end one way or another. I'm trying to do everything I can to make it right. But there is no right when the systems who are supposed to protect us won't do right. My case, I've shown you throughout my entire channel. I was nice when I filed this case. I did not go down rabbit holes. I did not put my emotions in it. I just simply stated the facts. And this is what I get back. Thank you for contacting the Department of Justice. We have reviewed your information and provided the information you provided and have determined that the complaint raises issues that are more appropriately addressed by another federal agency. So we're going to send you to the Department of Health and Human Services. Health and Human Services does not handle civil rights cases. Now let me also tell you, I started out with the Department of Health and Human Services, who also got children's services involved. That's what they do. They're about health and human services, not civil rights, not these systems that nobody wants to touch or even listen to or do anything about. I am far from the only person dealing with this. This is happening throughout our whole community, but nobody wants to step up and do anything. Nobody. They just want to let it continue. And then we wonder why so much bad is happening and why my mindset has gone the way it has, because I've done everything right. But there is no such thing as doing things right on my end when nobody in this entire system wants to do right on their end. I have filed cases with attorneys, without attorneys. Nothing matters. It don't matter. There's nothing that anybody will do. So I guess, you know, that's part of the reason this still continues, is because nobody has stepped up and proven that this means more than life itself. So if I have to be the sacrifice, then so be it. I don't want it to happen that way. I'm giving it time. I'm trying to do it all right. But at the end, there is no right when our systems won't do right. Again, we wonder why so much bad is happening. So when Department of Health and Human Services told me, you know, their first advice was called Children's Services, get them involved. Children's Services came here, saw the evidence, saw even the house the way it was, even me recording what happened, and said, wow, this is one of the biggest cases we've ever seen. I've never seen evidence like this. I've never seen a case like this that somebody could prove like you can. But it's part of why I have no doubt. That's why she went to the system she's in now, because the system that she's in now is completely 110% corrupt. The whole entire thing is. And Children's Services down there threw the case out. Well, now the sheriff department in that same system down there is calling out that same Children's Services for throwing children's cases against children and not doing their job. I will be airing that story very soon, if not my next story. The sheriff's department's even calling them out now, saying we can't do our job because Children's Services won't do their job. Something's got to give here. We're supposed to care so much about the children. We're supposed to care so much about victims. But yet nobody with a title and a paycheck wants to step in and do their job. again, I guess until somebody proves that them not doing their job is even more damning than if they did.